Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I'm back on TikTok. Because why the hell not? You know? Jelly Bee, nice to see you. Um, yeah, here we are. It is a Friday. Got some people tuning in. Yay, you're here. Jelly Bee. Jelly Bee, I don't know if you're on my mailing list. And no pressure, trust me. But I just sent out an email to the people on my mailing list. The Destination Decluttered mailing list people know that I'm going to be here on TikTok a heck of a lot more in May than I have been in the last couple of months. So good morning, everybody. So it looks like from the amount of people who are hopping on right at 8 a.m. that you got the message and you took a look at the schedule, because all of my TikTok lives are scheduled and all of my YouTube lives are scheduled. I have a YouTube live scheduled for right after this. I've kind of barnacled them together, stuck them together, Noah's Arked them together a lot this month. Not all the time. But again, that's why I share the schedule with you. Or as I like to say it, I like to publish it in the TV guide, as it were. So good morning. I like to see a lot of familiar names, some unfamiliar names too. So welcome, welcome. Smiles, everyone smiles, as if this is Fantasy Island and I'm more Mr. Rourke than Tattoo. And hey, Abbott Elementary, nice to see you. Happy Friday to you as well. Leslie, good morning to you. Yeah, it is Friday. It is Friday, and I got to share with you. This is kind of nice. The weather is a little bit cool here, but man, things are blooming up. Hey, Erin, I'm using my extra big mug today as I raise my mug to you. But yeah, at least I am going to play around with being on TikTok more in May at least, and just see how that goes. You know, I will continue to do, because here's a neat thing I will just share with you, that in full transparency, TikTok gets me more viewers, more maybe reaching people who don't know that what I do and what I do it. But also, I will be doing the YouTube lives. Now, the YouTube lives are cool because they're still just like this, open and available. But also, there tends to be a smaller amount of people that show up. So the neat thing about that is if you want to get a little bit deeper into like what we can do with clutter, that's a really good place for that too. So Barbara Dean is celebrating college graduation for 2 of her granddaughters from Ohio University. Yay! There we go. Leslie, thank you for letting me know that the videos on YouTube are awesome. Oh, hey, WRK99. Yeah, I'm kind of a goof like that. Let me introduce you just in general to everybody. So my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Destination Decluttered. Now, if you go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, then you can easily sign up for my free mailing list. It is, go to the main page, just zoop down to the bottom, put your email address in the little form, promise you're not a robot, hit the button and you're in. Okay? When you get on the mailing list, let me just explain to you what happens next, because it's wicked easy, but I just want you to know what to expect. You should be getting an automatically sent out email that says welcome, and here's the link to what I call the secret page, the speakeasy page, the members only page, as you were, whatever you call it. It is a hidden page on the internet that gives you all sorts of free resources to help you with your clutter and to help you know where I am going to be showing up live, either on TikTok or YouTube, or oftentimes both, and decluttering parties. So I don't send out a ton of emails. And I was even thinking about it this morning. So yesterday I sent out an email to all of the people on the list to just update them on stuff. So I don't bombard you with emails in your mailbox, because I freaking hate that. And so I don't do it. What I do is I have that page that I update often, and I remind you that that's the place to go for the resources, okay? I hope that helps. So yes, Beth, destinationdecluttered.com, free email mailing list, and then you get access to what I call like the TV guide of when I'm going to be live on TikTok and on YouTube, okay? And a bunch of other stuff too. But I want to just jump into, I was thinking about this because for a while there, For a while there, I was thinking of doing a podcast. And I will share with you that all you need to do to turn this into a podcast is just don't look at the screen, okay? Because it's pretty much me talking for an hour. Oh, thank you, that one persona. That one persona just said, an email from Beth is a pleasant surprise, not never-ending spams. So thank you very much. And yes, so I get myself distracted sometimes, but man, I'm good at getting back onto the tree most of the time. What I realized though yesterday, so I want to share it with you, is if I did a podcast, it would be me guessing at what you wanted to learn more about that could help you and hoping that what I was saying was going to help. I like the exchange right here, the connection that we forge with every one of these lives throughout the lives, because you can tell me in real time what's jamming you up, both clutter-wise and, getting started, whatever it is. And then immediately I know what I can do to help you with that. So I say that to some of the people who are like, when the hell is she going to put up that podcast? It ain't going to happen. But what I do also is all of my YouTube lives and TikTok lives are recorded and uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube page. Okay? And speaking of, that one persona just says she was watching the Destination Decluttered episode live and loved the gardening and weeding metaphor. Yeah, so I also, one of my love languages besides music and random pop culture stuff from the 70s, 80s, and beyond is metaphor. I would so much rather talk in language that we all know, instead of being like, well, it's really your amygdala that's dysregulated and it's your hypothalamus that is, In the meantime, I'm getting out the dictionary because I don't know my hypothalamus from my hypochondria, So what I do is I talk in metaphor. So weeding your garden is like decluttering your house, right? You look at your garden, you say, I want those plants, I don't want those, and you pull out the plants you don't want, and you put them in a bag to give to the mulch people or something. So I'm glad that resonated with you. I went outside and I do literally have weeds in my garden because I was gone for a while. My garden, our garden, my husband as well. And Leslie, see, this is what I love too. You do such a great job curating the comments that it feels like a conversation. And that's what I like. I am more about collaborating and conversating and, being the person who's here to help you, not just like two people who are too clueless. Like, I know what to do to help you, but what I need to do is I need to hear from you. I listen for the things that I'm like, ooh, you know what? I bet this thing that I have might help you. Versus me just talking from the mount. I've got these 10 commandments, right? Hey, I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is chiming in. Bunch of familiar people show up all the time. We got a neat little community, of which you are welcome. So Laura is saying, coming to us live from a hotel after judging some music. I love it. Heidi D says she weeded out a small closet last night and got a box of clothes to donate. I love it. Oh, Hannah, I have heard about the no power in Pittsburgh. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I have some dear friends in Pittsburgh that I was texting with yesterday, hoping they didn't have power for 15 hours. I hope you're okay. All right? Okay. CYNG49. You guys, let's send some love. My husband passed away a week and a half ago. My heart goes out to you, my dear. We have to move last minute. What would you recommend? I would just get through the move the best you can. Okay? I would get through the move the best you can. If it were me, I would be in no mental and physical state to even make decisions about what I want. And everything, if my husband passed away in a week and a half and I had to move, every single goddamn item in my house would probably remind me of him because my heart would be so raw and bleeding and aching because of that tragic loss. So here's what I suggest, and I think we are all sending you love and grace. Give yourself a break and don't even try to do a decent declutter. When you move, pack up the stuff you know you want. Pack up the stuff. If it's not trash, if it's not something that's so easy to be like, nope, I don't want it, and you don't even need to engage your head or your heart in doing it, just give yourself some grace. Know that you're going to bring this stuff with you, but that's okay. Can you imagine? I could not even imagine if it were me. So I'm putting myself in your shoes, and people are sending you love too. I hope you see that in the comments. I would much rather pack up, quote, too much in the short term and then feel better about taking my time when my heart has started to heal, when I'm in a place where I'm settled down, and then make the decisions and the sometimes, emotional decisions of what I saved for my husband, okay? And Laura Gibbon Voorhees is often, see, this is what we do. I show up to help. People show up. We are helper people. Even when we are struggling with stuff ourselves, we can help other people. So Laura is offering, if people offer help, which they will, assign them things. And this is a really good point I will share with you. Do not think like you're being a burden, but also start to clue into what you need during this time. When you start to figure out, and this is everybody, not just when you're going through something like this, and I look up here to a simple one sentence that I wrote to myself 3 years ago, and then I wrote it again last year, and I wrote it again this year. What do I want? What do I need? Keep that picture, keep that question in your head. Listen for the answer from your heart, and don't say, oh, I don't need anything, that's fine. Or I don't know. I don't know. Say it and get it out of the way. Okay? When you figure out something you need or want, tell somebody so they can help you. They don't know what you want. They want to help so desperately, but they don't know if you need a lasagna, or you need somebody to pick up your prescriptions, or they need you to drive to the gate, the grocery store, whatever. Okay? So my heart goes out to you. I know the people right here do. And also when this is recorded and uploaded and put on TikTok, or the YouTube channel, I'm sure there are people that you don't even know that are going to send you good vibes. Okay? So my heart goes out to you. Yeah. Now sometimes decluttering is something that gets thrown upon you in a tragic situation like that. This is why, okay? This is why I say get started with your decluttering sooner rather than later, okay? Okay, and you know what? Sin, when you say I keep telling them I don't know, you're also telling yourself you don't know, and I'm not laying a trip on you, okay? I'm not trying to be mean. What I'm saying is, what if you did know? Ask yourself, what do I need? As opposed to telling yourself you don't know, just ask yourself, what could I use right now? What could be helpful? And don't be so quick to say if nothing immediately comes to mind. Sometimes we need to think about these things, okay? So, yeah, take the help. The help is there. You don't even know how much help is around you, but it is. You are surrounded with love and help, okay? And when you do know, maybe you don't know right off the top of my head, I have no idea, but give me a minute, and when I figure it out, I will let you know. Okay? So, this is why, if you are not in a crisis situation, this is so much better of a place in your life to determine what you need and what you don't need, and where does it go, and what can you let go of, and where to put the important things, and all that type of stuff is so much easier when you have time and when you have the mental and physical capacity to do it. And I actually say mental more than physical, because physical you can farm out to somebody. Farm hands, right? One farmer doesn't do the whole farm. Look at me, I'm talking in metaphor. It's like a bigger version of weeding your garden. But you get farm hands. The farm hands just don't go and decide what to do. They are instructed by the farmer. So you can decide what you want to plant, and you can decide what crops you pull up, and you can decide all that, and then you can have the helpers help you with their hands. But what you need to do, everybody, every single one of us, is start to tune into the radio station in your head and your heart and realize that that's where decision making is made, right here, head and heart. Once the head and the heart are working together, then you can get hands involved, okay? Head, heart, hands. Yeah. Now, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is offering, so I'll offer it to you too, and this is wonderful. Because first of all, like, even let me put this in the context of like some of the stuff that I use with my coaching, so you guys, so everybody's learning it. We always start with, how are you feeling, physically? Do you need some water? Could you use something to eat? Could you feel better if you took a shower? Kind of the external stuff, but also, like, I get headaches a wicked lot, so I will often be like, if I feel a headache coming on, I'll immediately take something to nip it in the bud. So how are you feeling physically? Do you need to poop? Do you need to pee? Are your clothes uncomfortable? All of that kind of physical body stuff. See if you can make yourself feel a little bit better physical body-wise, because without your physical body, you're stuck. You're not moving anywhere. But also, how are you feeling kind of energetically? Now, I say energetically because I think of like mental and emotional, but also like your nervous system. And my nervous system pretty much probably lives right here because this is where my hand goes. Okay, so with your mental state, your energetic state, what can be very helpful is it may be all, I don't know. Shh. Practice the practice of what I like to just call all the downs. Calming down, breathing down, slowing down, quieting down. Maybe you don't want to hear from other people, you need to quiet down. Breathing down slowly to the bottom of your lungs. Slowing down your exhale, slowing down your inhale. Shoulders down, muscles down, sitting down instead of standing. Laying down if you need to take a nap. And then one of them that Laura Gibbon Voorhees is offering is writing down. So even though I'm saying this to one person who's going through a tragic event, everybody here on this TikTok and everybody watching the recording, when this is recorded and put up on Destination Decluttered on YouTube, all the downs. Physical, how you feeling physically, do a quick scan, fix what can be fixed. Energetically, if you're feeling all zing, like a cat or an animal with the hackles up and I don't know, and all prickly. Practice calming down, petting down. Give yourself a hug. Calm yourself down. Settle down, as opposed to, and again, being all like this, and it takes some time, but settle it down. Settle it down like the stuff that's in here. When you're settling down and you're calming down and you're quieting down, writing it down is a great thing. And so Laura says, I would imagine I would have a hard time remembering who I signed what. So have a notepad handy, or better, and, not even or. How about and? I love the word and. Assign somebody the task of taking notes. Who brought a casserole? Have somebody else write all this shit down. Who came to visit and you didn't see them? Who brought the flowers? When certain things are, have somebody be your secretary. I would do that in a hot minute for somebody, because that's something I can do to take the load off Fanny, okay? And put the load right on me, all right? We're all here together to help ourselves through this, and, that's why humans are a pack animal. We are not individual. We're individuals to a certain extent, but we would die a quick death if it was just ourselves, okay? And sorry, that may have been insensitive for me to talk about death while your husband died. I truly didn't mean it. But other people, if that one persona says, in profound grief, I understand making it through is a moment-by-moment thing. Yes, you made it through one breath. You made it through another breath. Understanding the end goal, take it day by day, and that will help you get to your destination. And that's why I talk about, and let me see if I can rewind it, and apologies. Somebody's backing up. I'm going to shut the window, okay? Hold on. See, I get distracted by noises, and I want you guys to be able to hear me. Yes, chunk it down. That's the other one too. So quiet down, slow down, breathing down, all that, but writing down, and especially chunking it down and writing it down. What can I do today? What's a little thing I can do today? Every little bit helps. Shit, it says it on my mug. This, I don't sell them. Don't worry, it's not a commercial. I put there to every little bit helps. Okay. Okay, dealing with acute migraines on top of everything. Are you taking your meds? I know I have prescription strength stuff for my headaches and my migraines, and and everybody, again, when I'm talking to Sin right here, everybody can apply this. How are you feeling physically? If you're not feeling good, what can you do to make yourself feel better? And then do that thing. Sometimes I'll share with you, I feel almost like it's a failing of mine. I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting a migraine. I wish I didn't have to take my migraine pills. But I know that if I take one, I feel better. And when you feel better, even a little bit, you will do better a little bit. Okay? I love it that Grace is actually saying, give yourself some grace. Please be patient with yourself. Through the process of decluttering, the transformation is amazing. Yes, and everybody. We all need grace. Give yourself grace, grace, grace all over the place. Ask a friend to be with you while you go through things. Then you can figure out a task for them to do. Okay? Yeah, labeling is also writing it down. Yeah. Dan Madonna giving your prayers. Okay, so you know what? One of the things you could do, Sin. And it may be one of those things, like when I need to get my prescriptions refilled, I can just call like the number on the thing. Somebody else might be able to call in your prescription for you. There are so many little tiny ways that somebody else can help ease your burden. So please, out of them all, because my doctor hasn't sent me new because I ran out too soon, have somebody call the doctor. Have somebody else do something else. If it's something only you can do, like somebody says, no, I have to talk to the patient, then please. If you don't feel well physically, everything else is so much harder. If you don't feel well energetically, everything else after that is so much harder. Okay? Yeah, Laura Gimna Voorhees is offering migraines meds. I also put a frozen cold cap on my head with warm washcloths on the back of my neck. I take Excedrin, like migraine. It's the same one as Excedrin, it's extra strength, but that usually can help me a bit. It's not great. It's not as good as my prescription stuff, but it does in a pinch. I also used to have that with Mexican Coke, the Coke they make with cane sugar as opposed to corn syrup. I used to do that because the caffeine and the sugar kind of helped too. Do what you can to help you feel better, okay? And I highly recommend, first of all, hugs from all of us here at Destination Decluttered. Beth, right here, giving you a big old hug, okay? That must suck. It really does. My heart is just going out to you. But do something at least, right? What could you do? Could you call your doctor? You could. Just when you feel better, you're going to do a little bit better. Oh, yes, damn it, Donna's offering rice socks. Now, the funny thing is immediately I'm like, rice socks? But I get it. Put a sock full of rice, putting it on your the weighted thing. Oh, I feel better just thinking about that. Okay? But just so you know, too. All right, there we go. And Farm Girl's a widow. Farm Girl saying, I'm a widow and it's hard. The pain never goes away, but it becomes more tolerable. Yeah. Thank goodness, because if we felt our emotions all the time, it's a self-preservation thing. If we felt our emotions at 100% all the time, we couldn't do anything. Okay? What I want to offer too is, just so you know, if you've never met me before, again, don't worry about the decluttering. That can happen on another time, schedule. Get yourself through what you can, especially if you're moving. If you're moving, have people help you pack. Okay? There are helpers out there. I called them. They are waiting on approval, but it's hard. Insurance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Health care in the United States. They don't care about your health at all. They don't. They care about profits. But you know what? Have somebody be your patient advocate. If you cannot fight for yourself, get one of your scrappy friends who's ready to call up and be insistent on your behalf, okay? Seriously. Again, think of the people you know who would do that in a heartbeat, who would follow up, who would make those phone calls. I'm calling on behalf of my friend whose husband just died and she needs her meds. What are the steps? Even if they just call up and they say, well, we need to, they might be able to find the steps. They could escalate something. There are people that get shit to happen. I'm one of them. I would be tenacious like all get out, You have people in that life too. Okay? Yes, and Cat Mama is saying, yes, everyone needs an advocate. Those calls are so stressful. Many times we can advocate for ourselves when we're feeling good, when we're feeling okay. But when we ain't feeling okay, somebody, yeah, I love it. Somebody whose personality is diligent as fuck. And Hannah's just offering, I wish I could be that scrappy friend for you. So I bet you have a scrappy friend, and if not, seriously, you know what? Yeah. There we go. Scrappy friends are superhero statuses because they're like, I am so, yeah, you need your scrappy friends, the people who will fight on your behalf, who will defend you, who will take up on you. And for the most part, that's what I try to be for you. And especially when, and I'm going to kind of rope it back into decluttering and just in general, but you fighting yourself within. Are you not sticking up for yourself inside your house? Do you not even in your own self? And I remind you to stick up for yourself when yourself is beating yourself up. Quiet down those backseat drivers. Don't take no for an answer. Figure out a way how to do something. Let's get creative. All right? Let's not give up on something that's important. I learned how to give up on things so easily when I was growing up that I just stopped trying for years. Because every time I would hear no or it was worth it, I never stuck with anything. Not never, that's a very declaratory word. I rarely stuck with anything long enough to get better at it. But I was surrounded by people who got frustrated and threw their hands up in the air. So that's what I learned to do. I learned that was an appropriate way. Luckily, I've learned something different. So I share with all of y'all, no matter all of y'all, I've been hanging around with Carla, right? She's from Alabama. Stop beating yourself up inside. Be your own advocate to yourself, okay? And this is how I look at it. So let me put it in a way of that makes sense to me, so it maybe makes sense to you. And I love it. German maid is the scrappy friend. My friend had me come to the hospital when her hubby was in the ICU. Yeah. Let's all be that scrappy friend. Who can we be that scrappy friend for outside? Who do you know in your concentric circles that could use some scrappy friending? Looking outside to those circles around you, but also the center of the circle. The circle gets the square. Anybody? Hollywood Squares? Circle gets the square. How about you? Are you being your scrappy friend for yourself? If a friend asked you to help declutter, you would do it in a heartbeat. Is your internal friend doing that? Yeah, and be that scrappy friend to and for yourself and learn how to show up for yourself who needs that help. Now, the way I look at that this scenario is this. Now, as you may see behind here, and I talk about destinations and road tripping and travel and all sorts of metaphors, but what I find really helpful is to picture myself. So picture yourself in a car. Any car you want. This is the car that you move through life as the driver of. You are always behind the wheel of the car yourself. So you're sitting there in the driver's seat. Ideally, you've got your seatbelt on. You've got your hands on the steering wheel. And you're just sitting there right now. And maybe you haven't even turned on the ignition. Your foot may be on the brake. Maybe you don't have any gas. Regardless, you are not alone in your car as you drive through life. You have, this is how I explain it to myself, I have two invisible passengers. Now there's somebody in the back seat. Somebody in the back seat is called, big surprise, a backseat driver. Now the backseat driver is the one who says fear, basically is fear and no and all those words that come with it. However, that's not the only thing. Remember I said you had two invisible passengers in the car? That's the scared, fearful little kid in a car seat in the back seat. Okay? So that's one of the sources of the words in your head is probably the scared little kid. The other person, though, the other spirit, the other passenger in the car is right up there next to you, is your BFF, your co-pilot, your sidekick, your I'm on a road trip with the best person ever to be in the passenger seat, and that is your soul, love, God, the universe, Fred, whatever you want to call that part of you, that's love right there. Fear is in the back seat, love is right next to you. And love is also, and I call it your co-pilot. Your co-pilot is the one that helps you quiet down the backseat driver so that you can listen to them speak. And they speak in pure love for you. You got this. You can do this. I can help you. Ask for help. We're not here alone. We can do this. Okay? Chill but scrappy. Oh, hell yeah. Can you imagine? Again, imagine yourself in the driver's seat and you're on a road trip and you've just got somebody next to you that loves you so much and knows how to solve problems and knows how to do this stuff. They're just going to sit there and say, okay, wherever you want to go, I can help you get there. But you have to figure out, it just, even in the short term, where's somewhere you want to go? Okay, I can help you get there. And they can do all they can. I pretty much, honestly, you guys, think of me as your co-pilot. This is your co-pilot speaking. Beth, this is your co-pilot, Beth. This is how I show up for you. Calming down your nervous system, reminding you that you have tools and resources available to you to write down, to chunk down, that you're not alone, that there's a community, that I create this community and I show up so we can all have like kind of a magnet to focus on. I show up to give you a taste of what it feels like when your backseat driver is quiet, because I'm speaking, quieting down the petulant, scared little kid in the backseat, and then hearing another perspective. Instead of fear, how about, hey, let's do this. Why the fuck not? Let's just have some fun. We can make this happen. And not just randomly willy-nilly, but like, let's make a plan, but let's make it happen. Okay? So, I am the co-pilot voice. Notice how it feels when you hear that voice instead of the backseat driver. How it can be a release to know you're not alone and that you have this voice inside of you. Okay? So, oh, there we go, my inner Beth. It's so funny. Did that this morning. Lots of areas I wanted to work on. And my inner Beth asked, oh, what did she ask? Well, what would make me feel best at the end of the day? Yeah, that sounds like me, huh? Yeah. What would make me feel good at the end of the day if I got it done today? And that gives you a place to start. That's the thing. A lot of what we do is we can be spinning. Again, think of the car metaphor. Okay, I've got energy. I've got my ignition is turned on, but I'm not in gear. I'm spinning my wheels and I'm using up my gas, but I'm kind of spinning. Now, many of us, and I'll bring in the ADHD right now, is many of us have a hard time kind of settling down because our brains are overactive. We have fabulous brains, okay? So sometimes it does take a while to settle down and calm down if you want to focus on a project. Other times it's good to, as Laura Voorhees likes to call it, kind of pinball around. I like to call it putter and declutter. If you're just kind of bopping around from thing to thing and you're getting surface clutter done. Okay? Surface decluttering, I guess I could call it. There's a room in life for both of them. You know, again, kind of like conjunction junction when you heard me earlier talk about, or you could do this, and I stopped using or and I replaced it with and. You can be the kind of person that bops around and does a bunch of different things on the surface, and you can be a person who does a deep dive and really gets focused and gets good stuff done. You know? Now, I love this. Speaking of using this time that we're together to use for decluttering, that one persona says, what would make me feel best at the end of the day? And then her co-pilot answered, well, you know, the in-laws are coming over tomorrow. Would you feel good if the kitchen? How about the kitchen? Yeah, that would feel good. Sounds good. And then all of a sudden that gets you going. Cleared out a bag of paperwork that's been sitting for a while. Yeah. Hey, there we go. Now, this is really great because this is showing the power of taking these tools I offer to you. The skills and the tools are offered free of charge. The only thing I ever charge for is my one-on-one coaching and a modest ticket price for the decluttering parties. Now, I'm bringing up the decluttering parties because Leslie says, yesterday I asked about clothes. So yesterday asked about clothes, and she did her jackets based on what we talked about. So she actually practiced using the tools. You can have a toolkit in front of you and never use it, and then you're not really familiar with it. But if you practice using the tools, you become familiar with it. So she just says, yesterday I asked about the clothes and did my jackets. Just finished trying on all of my dresses, and she's chunked it down. Okay? She's chunked it down. And chunking down, notice it's a down. It's one of the downs, right? So notice, I can talk at you all day. You can be like, yep, that sounds good, but until you show up with your hands and do the work, it kind of has a different thing. It's almost like working in theory and then testing out your theory. Does this work? Where do I get stuck? Okay? And I offer this to you because one of the things that I've kind of invented, per the suggestion of people who follow me, was to give you an opportunity to do your own decluttering while you're kind of not there alone. And this is what a decluttering party is. So really quickly, we have a decluttering party scheduled for tomorrow. I'm trying to do the date without looking at the calendar. May 3rd at 12 noon Eastern to 1:30 Eastern. And Sunday, May 4th, 12 noon to 1:30 Eastern. There's also a bunch more that are scheduled, and they're on that page that if you're on the mailing list, you have access to. The tickets are available. And what this does is it allows you to put into action what I've been, what you think is going to work based on, what you've heard from me. So you can directly apply the skills that you are learning and practice them on areas of your own house with portions of problem solving and collaboration with other people, and then chunks of quiet, just you time. And then we chop in again. And how'd it go? Are you stuck? Good. No. It's kind of like being on a road trip and you pull over every so often with your people to make sure everybody's okay and is somebody stuck? And then we make sure that we do things to get you unstuck. So that by the end of the decluttering party, not only will you be less cluttered than you were before, but you will actually learn how to declutter differently than you are right now. Okay? So I love that Leslie yesterday chunked it down and has been able to do this herself. Many of us have things that are so much easier to declutter than other kind of categories that we have. A category is basically a chunk. A chunk in a category is a gathering of like items together, as we used to say in the visual merchandising biz. So that's another thing that I offer. And that one persona says, I love the encouragement you give during the parties. Thank you. Here's the thing, if you think about it, one of the voices you probably currently hear a lot when you go to declutter in the way that you've been doing it all your life is you probably only ever hear your backseat driver. Occasionally your co-pilot voice may pop up. You've got this. This is great. This is easy. But then as you start to go through it and it starts to become not as easy as you want, and you might start running out of physical steam and decision-making capabilities and all that, your backseat driver may be getting louder. This is hard. I don't like this. This is uncomfortable. We're going to have to make decisions. And so I show up to counterbalance that voice. A lot of what we do right here, frankly, and I love kind of stripping away the artifice and just giving you the skeleton of what's going on, the framework behind it, because it's a solid framework that I used for years, and I still use it with myself to this day and for the rest of my life, is finding the opposite. What's on the other hand? On the one hand, you have your backseat driver who talks in fear and shame and discouragement. There's another hand, people. There's another hand. And I'm left-handed, so it's this one. The other hand is your co-pilot, is love, is opposite of fear, is encouragement, giving you courage as opposed to taking away. Instead of shame, it's curiosity. It's not shameful, whatever the good opposite word of that is. Notice the words you use to talk to yourself in your head and how they make you feel. Words, just words. Don't even beliefs. I always got confused when I was doing my coaching. Beliefs versus whatever. I just call them words and sentences because we all know what a word is. And enough words in an order makes a sentence. What are the words and sentences that run through your head as you're decluttering? There is gold in our hills, people. And this is why, even though people say, oh, can't we just throw our backseat driver out the window? No, because they are showing you what's stopping you. They are what's stopping you, the words. But if you don't pay attention to them, you don't learn, and you keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. So it's time to learn to not be afraid to listen to your backseat drivers. Listening is different from believing. Listening is different from believing. You can hear what somebody says, and this is something that internally and externally, globally, nationally. This is a phrase that my mother gave to me. My mother's got a wicked lot of crazy sayings, but this one's a really good one. Consider the source. All right, write that down. When somebody is telling you something, are they a liar? When somebody is telling you something, are they a trustworthy source? This can be somebody in your own life. This can be somebody on the news. There are trustworthy sources of information. There are other sources of information that lie for their own doings, okay? Check your sources, validate them, see if it's coming from a credible source. And what I offer to you is internally, let's scale it back down to what's going on inside the car, the backseat driver. That is a source that is based in fear. Now, sometimes fear can be helpful. Fear tries to stop you from hurting yourself. But overactive fear can stop you from doing everything. Shyness is nice, but shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you'd like to. Next thing you know, I'm singing Morrissey and the Smiths, right? This is what I do. This is how I coach. But seriously, don't dismiss the fear out of hand, but notice it and see if it's a valid fear. And if it is, say thank you. You're right. I didn't think of that. Good one. However, a lot of it, a grand percentage of it, might be stuff that just is not worth getting all riled up about. But you could be in the habit of always listening to them. Okay? That's how I feel. And once I've learned the process of quieting down my fear, calming down what they're afraid of, noticing what they're afraid of. And here's another thing too. Let me share this with you. This is why I always think of my backseat driver as a scared little child, maybe like a toddler or something, strapped in a car seat. First of all, no matter what they want to do, they want to kind of grab the steering wheel and say, don't go to that cool diner, go through the McDonald's drive-thru because all I want is chicken nuggets and fries because they're a little kid. They want the same thing over and over again, even if part of you wants something different, saying, boy, I'm sick of this stuff. Whatever they want to do, they cannot reach the wheel. Only you have your hands on the steering wheel. But what they do is they use words. They're calling out their words from the back seat, trying to discourage you from moving in a different direction than what they want. And I say also that they're children because their vocabulary is limited, and they're going to say the same thing over and over and over and over and over to you in different ways until you catch on to that and you calm them down. Okay? So it's really interesting to see. I've done it myself. I literally have the receipts because this is a process I use, which is I fold a paper in half and I do a little steno book and I say, okay, I'm going to interview my backseat drivers. Before I even get started today, what are the rumblings in the backseat? What are they saying? And I write it down and I note it and I say, thank you. Anything else? Okay, I get that all out. But then, this is where the good stuff happens. Because I folded it in half, I have two sides. I have two hands. On the one hand, here's all the stuff they're afraid of. On the other hand, this is a place where we need to practice this language. We are conversant in this language of fear and shame and whatever. But on this side of love, we're a little bit less familiar with how to talk to ourselves like a co-pilot, lovingly. But what we do is kind of like Duolingo before it went all AI, is you take every sentence, you chunk it down. Each sentence, it's like we're learning a new language, translating it into a opposite, translating it into a more helpful, taking the fear energy out and neutralizing it so that you can get started. And you do this over and over again. Okay, so SS07058, notice, I'm afraid, fear. I'm afraid. So I would write that down, and you did in the comments, which is great. I'm afraid if I get rid of something, I will need it again, and in this economy, I can't afford it. So fear, and also this is a really good word, and I only really learned this when I was like learning about coaching and getting coaching myself. Lack, the lack of something. You don't have something, right? What I want to reassure you, SS07058, is this. Decluttering is not getting rid of the good stuff. Decluttering is not getting rid of the stuff you use and that you have a high likelihood that you will use. Decluttering starts with the stuff. You start decluttering by getting rid of the stuff that you haven't used in forever from the past. You saved it in the past. Today, you look in your rearview mirror, again, car analogy. Today, you're sitting there and you look in the rearview mirror and you say, okay, I saved that rice cooker. We bought the rice cooker. We got it for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's been on that shelf. We haven't used it in forever. And you might get curious, why don't we use it? We just don't use it as often as we thought. Okay, do we think we're going to use it in the future? The future is you in the steering wheel looking out ahead to the life you want. Now, if you want to use it, if you think you're going to use the rice cooker, then don't declutter it. But make a plan to use it. Because there's some reason why you're already not using it, so just get curious about it. You know? So just get curious about that, but reassure yourself. Calm down the fear in the back seat. Do not worry, little kid in the back seat. I am not getting rid of anything that we are truly going to use. What I'm looking for is stuff that we haven't used in forever. I haven't worn this in forever. I haven't used that foundation in forever. I have not, any room in your house, there's going to be something that part of you is saying, I don't need that anymore. But the fear keeps you holding on to something that the other part of you is like, you know what, I bet you could let that go. Okay, I haven't worn it in a while, so why haven't I worn it? And again, why in a non-judgmental tone? Judgment is here in fear, and the words can be said in a different energy. That's when you know the energy in what you say has a lot to do with it. Why aren't you wearing that dress? You spent a wicked lot of money for it. Totally judgy, huh? I can judge you like nobody's business. On the other hand, same words from the other side, from the other hand, love. Hey, I'm just curious. Why haven't I worn that dress? Menopause. I don't fit in it anymore. And I feel bad because my body's different. And I would love to fit in that dress again someday. Or, like Mother of the Bride dress. I probably will never wear it again, but God, I spent a wicked lot of money on it. It feels wasteful. It feels not good because I was raised thrifty to donate a dress that I spent so much money for, even though I may never wear it again. Okay? So SS0758, if you struggle with clothes, same thing. This is the great thing I will share with you guys. This is why I love what I do, because it's not just a one-trick pony. It's not just like a Ronco Popeel, like one of those things that you use in your kitchen that only does one thing. This toolkit is like a universal toolkit because the thought process about decluttering is the same in every freaking room in your house. What is this item? Here, even better. I'll take these out. What is this item? It is a mug. Do I still want it or not? Could I live without it? Well, yeah, I could live without it, but I like it because it tells me a sentimental story of the time that I was in Ireland and all that. Okay, if I want to keep it, so I want to keep it. Okay, but I don't like it to use it as a mug. It's too small. The handle's too hinky. So if I want to keep it, what could I use it for? Oh, I know. I could use it to store these things. My highlighters, right? And my giant kind of Bonnie Bell lip smacker. Okay, and where is that going to go? Well, I tend to use these things on my at my desk, so I will use it at my desk. I got something in there that doesn't belong there. Okay, I have made a decision. I've walked through the decision process, and I feel good about the decision I made. And this is all about feeling good. This is all about feeling good about the quality of items you have in your home, the quantity of items in your home, and how that makes you feel. I have in this closet, somewhere around here, a sterling silver tray that is probably, because when I say quality and quantity, I have here a sterling silver tray that's probably worth a good $500, if not more. Melted down, probably less, who knows. It doesn't make me feel good because I don't like it. I don't like it because it was never my style. It came from my first wedding. I have a memory of my aunt or cousin, or I know who gave it to me, so there's a bit of that connection. But I don't feel good having it, even though the quality, but that's worth money. It doesn't matter how much money it costs if it doesn't make you feel good. I also have, a melamine tray that I bought in Palm Springs for $20 that I freaking love. Now they both serve the same function. One costs so much more, but you know what? I like the other one better. So notice how your items in your home make you feel. Because they do. If they don't, I would get curious about that. And who knows, maybe you're neurotypical and you're like, I have no idea what you mean. My stuff is just stuff. I want my house to look like a Pottery Barn catalog. It doesn't matter. I have no connection to any of the stuff in my house. Then you may not be cluttery. But you have stories. Your items, your eyes, like the Bionic Man. Your eyes look at an item. And in a fraction of a microsecond, you see what it is, and a folder opens up, a file in your brain opens up and tells you a story about it. That story indicates what you do about that thing with that thing. Start listening to your stories. And you know what your story is? Notice how we were chunking things down? A story is a bunch of sentences. A sentence is a bunch of words. So start paying attention to the words in your head and how they make you feel in your heart. Now, I like an alliteration. I like a head, heart, hand analogy. Surface, stored, sentimental, that type of thing. So notice that the words in your head, you can tell yourself a story to make you feel great. You can tell yourself a story to make you burst into tears. And all the things in between. I can. I could probably cry on demand right here if I thought of a sad enough story. Heck, my heart is still a little bit like feeling bad for Sin and her husband who passed away. You have the power. I got the power. I got the power. You have the power to tune in, to start listening to. What are they whispering in the back seat that's causing me to stop and not declutter? You can't do this. You've tried this before so many times and it hasn't worked. You can't do this. Yeah. You grew up in a cluttered home. Everybody in your family is cluttered. Why should you be any different? You can't afford that. What if you get rid of it and you need it some other day? You know what? It's too late. Leave it for your kids. They'll deal with it when you're done because this is so hard. You can't do hard things. And this is really hard. You're going to hurt. This is going to be painful. You're going to feel pain and then it's just going to come back again, just like the weight. You lost the weight, you gained it. You've decluttered before and it always comes back. So why even bother trying? Notice how snarky the backseat drivers can be. Now they are saying it's snarky, because they're trying to discourage you from doing something that's made you feel bad before. However, that's when you didn't know you had Beth as your co-pilot, you know? Because I'm like, I hear you, but we're going to dismantle every single one of those sentences, you know? The opposite. There's no time like the present to do this. Now I have somebody I can listen to who knows how to do this stuff. She's good at it. She knows because I love it. Abbott Elementary is still using the tools in her toolkit that she learned when we were one-on-one coaching together. And she decluttered the top of her dresser and put together a pouch of necessary items for an upcoming trip. Boy, do I love pouches, and boy, do I like trips, right? You can do this. It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. Maybe the way you were doing it before hurt. Now, yes, you will feel some emotions. Good. You're a human. If you did not feel emotions, it means you're a robot, and or a zombie. I don't work with zombies or zobots, zombies or robots, right? Okay. Hannah says, I'm at a standstill with 2 trees down, luckily not on the house. Yep. I'm not in sin shoes, but money and frozen. Okay. Once again, Hannah, everybody, this is a really good thing to remember. And I'm only here on TikTok for another 4 minutes. And then I'm hopping over to YouTube. I have it all set up right here on my computer. I'm going to switch over. So Destination Decluttered on YouTube. If you want to continue having this conversation or just listening to what I have to say, because I think I'm saying some pretty good stuff. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Head over there, Google it, find it, follow me right there. That'll be good. But notice when you said money and frozen, money has a lot to do with a lot of our decisions, at least me. So many of us do that. What I want to offer to you and to everybody is this. Clutter is not getting rid of the good stuff. Clutter practice is getting rid of the stuff that you do not want anymore. Yeah, I do not want that. Okay? You can start this with surface clutter. Trash is clutter. Have you taken out the trash? Have you gone through your paperwork and realized there's many things that you haven't used in decades and that you could shred them? Now it's you do have to go through things kind of category by category, but then you're going to feel good about it. Okay? So decluttering doesn't mean either losing money or spending money, because decluttering also does not mean throwing things immediately into a dumpster or the trash can. You could go around your house, you could find stuff that you don't want that you could make some money on if you want to sell it. So decluttering could make you money. Okay? Now, Kimberly, I want to do this. I love it. Damn it, Donna says black coffee has helped me focus. You know? So what I want to offer to you guys is this. Kimberly, and again, I only got 2 minutes, and I'm going to wrap up and remind people to sign up for the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com and hop over to YouTube and all that kind of stuff. My name is Beth, Decluttering Life Coach. I will be showing up more on TikTok. If you want to know when I'm showing up for TikTok, get on the mailing list, because I have a TV guide, and it shows from now until, I'll actually look up the page right now on my other thing here. I literally have scheduled out things until Tuesday, May 20th. If you want to do that, yep. So go to the YouTube. I have something set up right now. What I want to offer is when you start and then you stop and pivot, it's because there was something right at that point of stopping. It's like a road. You're at a crossroads, right? I'm at the crossroads. Right? I'm at the crossroads. And instead of going forward like I want to, something scared you at the crossroads that made you take a left or take a right. So get curious about that. And here's a good thing to end with, because I'm gonna sign off to make sure I get YouTube going. Check this out, you guys. This is awesome, and thank you so much for sharing, Louise/Oceanana. Oceanana and I work together doing one-on-one coaching, and she's continuing to do the good stuff. $500 last week from decluttering items. Check you out, lady. Oh my God, and Jim, of course. You know what I mean? Not Jim, but you're the one who's like, look at, you're the one. Still the one? That is so cool. You know? Yeah. Now that's great. Now Rach says, you said before saying it is worth a few bucks versus being done with it. I need to see quick progress, but Hub's got, yeah. So when you're decluttering with somebody else, they have their different thoughts and feelings, much like you do. Okay. So how about this, you guys? I'm going to sign off right now. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I'm about to turn on. If you want to continue this conversation with me, feel free to hop over there. If your time does not allow you to do that, that's cool. I would like to think that the words that I gave to you, the words that I shared with you, will stay in your heart, your head today, and your heart, and you will use those words to get you moving forward in the direction that you want to go towards your destination, instead of being afraid and stopping. Okay? You can do this. All right? I'll see you over on YouTube.